Welcome to English Paper, the podcast where you improve your English through real-life topics, useful vocabulary, and natural conversations. I'm your host, Alex. Before we begin today's episode, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new lesson. If you enjoy learning English with us, your support helps us reach more learners around the world. Today, we are going to talk about a problem that almost everyone experiences at some point in life: procrastination. But this is not just a lesson about procrastination, it is also a lesson about how to talk about procrastination in English. By the end of this episode, you will know useful vocabulary, common expressions, natural conversation patterns, and practical phrases that native speakers use when discussing this topic. So, let's get started. Have you ever had an important task to complete but found yourself doing everything except that task? Maybe you had an exam coming up, but instead of studying, you watched videos online. Maybe you needed to write a report, but you spent an hour cleaning your room. Perhaps you planned to exercise, but suddenly checking social media seemed more interesting. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. The word procrastination means delaying or postponing something that should be done. It is the habit of putting off important tasks and replacing them with activities that are easier, more enjoyable, or less stressful. Many people think procrastination is simply laziness, but experts often say that procrastination and laziness are not the same thing. A lazy person may not want to do the task at all. A procrastinator usually wants to do the task and knows it is important, but keeps delaying it. For example, imagine a student who has an assignment due next week. The student knows the assignment is important. The student plans to complete it. The student even worries about it. However, instead of starting today, the student says, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow arrives, but the student says the same thing again. This cycle continues until the deadline is very close. That is procrastination. Now let's learn some useful English vocabulary related to procrastination. The first expression is put something off. This is one of the most common expressions. To put something off means to delay it. For example, I keep putting off my homework. She put off going to the dentist. We can't keep putting off this decision. Notice that native speakers use this expression very frequently in everyday conversations. Another useful phrase is leave something until the last minute. This means waiting until the deadline is very close before starting. For example, I always leave my assignments until the last minute. He left his presentation until the last minute and had to work all night. Many people use this phrase when talking about school, work, or personal responsibilities. Another expression is drag your feet. This means being slow to do something because you do not really want to do it. For example, why are you dragging your feet on this project? I've been dragging my feet about making that phone call. Let's continue with another useful phrase: to get around to something. This means finally finding the time or motivation to do something. For example, I haven't gotten around to reading that book yet. When did you get around to cleaning the garage? This phrase is very common in casual English. Now, let's talk about why people procrastinate. Many English learners assume that people procrastinate because they are lazy, but there are actually many different reasons. One common reason is fear. People are often afraid of failure. Imagine that you have to give a presentation in front of a large audience. You may worry that you will make mistakes. You may worry that people will judge you. As a result, you delay preparing for the presentation, not because you don't care, but because you feel anxious. In English, you might say, "I've been avoiding it because I'm nervous. I'm afraid I won't do a good job. I'm worried about making mistakes." Another common reason is perfectionism. Perfectionists often procrastinate because they want everything to be perfect. They think, if I can't do it perfectly, maybe I shouldn't start yet. As a result, they delay beginning the task. For example, I wanted the report to be perfect, so I kept delaying it. My perfectionism is causing me to procrastinate. This is an advanced topic that appears often in discussions about productivity and personal development. Another reason people procrastinate is feeling overwhelmed. Sometimes a task seems so large that people do not know where to begin. Imagine you need to write a 100-page book. The project feels enormous. Instead of starting, you become overwhelmed and do nothing. In English, you might hear, "The project feels overwhelming. I don't know where to start. There is so much to do. I'm feeling overwhelmed." These expressions are very useful because they are not only related to procrastination, but also to everyday life. Now let's talk about some common sentences that people use when discussing procrastination. I've been procrastinating a lot lately. I should have started earlier. I keep getting distracted. I can't seem to focus. I've been wasting time. I know I need to do it. I just can't get started. I work better under pressure. I'm running out of time. The deadline is approaching. Try repeating these sentences aloud after listening to them. Speaking aloud is one of the best ways to improve your fluency. Now let's discuss an interesting question. Why is procrastination becoming more common? Many experts believe that modern technology plays a role. Think about how many distractions exist today. Social media, short videos, online games, streaming services, news websites, messages, and notifications. Every time we sit down to work, dozens of distractions compete for our attention. In English, people often say, "I got distracted. I lost track of time. I spent hours scrolling. I fell into a social media rabbit hole." That last expression is especially interesting. A rabbit hole is a situation where you start looking at one thing online and end up spending a long time exploring unrelated content. For example, I opened one video and then fell into a rabbit hole for 2 hours. Many people can relate to this experience. Now let's learn how to talk about solutions. If someone asks, "How do you avoid procrastination?" you can answer using these expressions. I create a daily schedule. I set small goals. I prioritize important tasks. I remove distractions. I turn off notifications. I work in short, focused sessions. I reward myself after completing a task. Before we finish, let's review today's key vocabulary. Procrastination, delaying important tasks. Put off, postpone. Deadline, the final date for completion. Distracted, unable to focus because something takes your attention. Overwhelmed, feeling that something is too difficult or too much. Perfectionism, wanting everything to be perfect. Productive, able to complete useful work. Motivation, the desire to do something. Prioritize, decide what is most important. Focus, give your full attention to something. Now here's a challenge for you. Pause this episode and answer these questions in English. Do you procrastinate? What tasks do you usually put off? Why do you procrastinate? How do you deal with procrastination? What is one task you should start today? Even if your answers are simple, practice speaking them aloud. Remember, fluency comes from using English, not just studying English. Thank you for spending your time with us today on English Paper. I hope this episode helped you learn useful English vocabulary, natural conversation patterns, and practical speaking skills related to procrastination. If you enjoyed today's lesson, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other English learners. I'm Alex, and this has been English Paper. Remember, every expert was once a beginner, every fluent speaker was once a learner, and every big achievement started with a small first step. So don't procrastinate on your English learning. Start today, practice today, improve today, and I'll see you in the next episode of English Paper. Goodbye, everyone.